Next news. Breaking news from the White House.
Right now we're looking at a story so outrageous it sounds like a rejected Hollywood script, except federal investigators say it was real. A former senior CIA official is now sitting in jail after agents reportedly found 303 gold bars, roughly $2 million in cash, dozens of Rolexes inside his Virginia home. Let that sink in. Not a cartel kingpin, not a sanctioned oligarch, a man trusted at the highest levels of America's intelligence system. And if he really pulled this off for years while waving it away as work-related expenses, then the question is no longer what he stole. The question is who inside the system let this happen. And I'll tell you why this matters. You see, it's far beyond any one disgraced bureaucrat. The issue is not just the gold, it's not just the watches, it's not even just the alleged fraud. The real issue is whether one of the most powerful intelligence institutions in the world can police itself at all. According to the reports, David Rush allegedly got his hands on tens of millions in gold and foreign currency. Investigators also say he may have lied about parts of his background just to get hired in the first place. So, where were the background checks? Where were the audits? Where were the supervisors? The American people have been told for years that these agencies are packed with elite professionals protected by layers of oversight and equipped with world-class security systems. Yet now we're being told a senior official may have been sitting on 303 gold bars at home. Under President Trump, Americans are demanding accountability from institutions that got way too comfortable hiding behind secrecy. This story is exactly why that pressure is needed. And speaking of national security, there's another breaking development Americans need to watch very closely. This breaking news on America's critical mineral supply chain. The SAGA metal story we've been tracking just got a lot stronger. Less than 48 hours ago, SAGA released new information suggesting its radar project may be sitting on one of the largest titanium and vanadium systems on the entire planet. Now take a look at your screen. SAGA trades as SAGMF in the US and SAGA in Canada. To understand the scale, you need to compare China's Panxinhua deposit to radar. Now, the Panxinhua deposit is a state-linked system. It's valued in the multi-billion-dollar range, responsible for over 40% of global vanadium supply. And in the America First era, that matters. See, domestic resource strength is national strength. And SAGA looks like they may just have the market cornered. So check the exclusive briefing. It's linked below, but it's only for Next News viewers. And check out the in-depth interview with the CEO I did on this very topic just a few weekends ago. Now let's get back to the scandal that is blowing a hole straight through the intelligence community's credibility, because here is the twist that makes it even worse. Investigators are not just looking at piles of gold and luxury watches. Reports say that Rush may have fabricated key parts of his education, his military background, including claims tied to elite institutions and even pilot service. Think about that. Americans applying for basic security jobs get picked apart over tiny discrepancies, but a man who allegedly rose inside the CIA may have cruised past the gatekeepers. That's where this story stops being just criminal and starts becoming institutional. And once you see the tweets and the reactions pouring in, the outrage only gets bigger. It is official. Former high-level CIA officer David Rush is in jail after committing jaw-dropping fraud, stealing $40 million worth of gold bars. Check this out.
$40 million worth of gold bars in his Virginia home. Correspondent David Spunt has details from Washington. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening to you. Tonight, David Rush is a former CIA senior official. He's behind bars accused of stealing 303 gold bars from the agency, worth more than $40 million. While the case is being made public now, the FBI arrested David Rush on May 19th and searched his Northern Virginia home. In addition to the gold, authorities say they found approximately approximately $2 million in currency and approximately 35 Rolex watches. It's unclear what Rush did specifically for the CIA, but according to the affidavit, between on or around November 2025 through on or around March 2026, Rush made several requests to the United States government to obtain a significant quantity of foreign currency and tens of millions of dollars in gold bars for work-related expenses. Rush received the currency and gold bars. Now, the document goes on to allege Rush lied about some of his education while applying for a job with the CIA. Authorities say the deceit goes back to 2009. It's unclear how he was not caught sooner, but we expect more to come out in a trial. In a joint statement, spokespeople for the CIA and FBI tell Fox News on Tuesday, May 19th, is when he was arrested after a CIA internal investigation identified potential violations of the law. CIA Director John Ratcliffe referred the information to the FBI for a law enforcement investigation. The FBI is working closely with our partners at the CIA and DOJ as we continue to investigate this matter fully. A detention hearing to determine whether David Rush can be released pending trial is scheduled for next Friday. Brett?
Okay, David, thank you. Up next.
So that's the headline. 303 gold bars, $2 million in cash, 35 Rolexes sitting in a former CIA official's home. New York Post covering it. Why ex-CIA officer David Rush's $40 million gold bar case could point to a large-scale cover-up. As expert reveals painstaking vetting process. Yes, it does get even worse.
A former senior CIA official has been arrested after FBI agents found hundreds of gold bars worth over $40 million in his Virginia home. According to court documents, David Rush made several requests to the U.S. government to obtain the bars for work-related purposes over the past year. Along with the gold bars, FBI agents also uncovered about $2 million and 35 luxury watches, many of them Rolexes, in the former official's home. Rush has also been accused of lying about his education and military service when applying for his CIA position, and of fraudulently taking military leave worth thousands of dollars in pay. According to the charges, Rush told his employers that he had been a thesis advisor at the Air Force Institute of Technology and a pilot for the Navy, neither of which were true. The former CIA official has been arrested and is being held in detention until his hearing later this week.
So it wasn't just about stolen gold. He's accused of faking key parts of his background. OC&I was not working as designed, but Tulsi was making out great progress sorting it out. Putting the CIA in charge is not the best idea given their track history of the news about one of their own with $40 million in gold bars at his home. PDB podcast even covered it.
How do you find $40 million of gold, 303 bars of gold? I believe they're 2.2 pounds. 35 Rolexes, okay? $2 million of cash. And this is not a regular CIA officer. This is a senior CIA officer that has to go through background check. Claimed he went to Clemson University. Clemson's like, we don't have this guy's name. Claimed he went to Polytech University. They don't have his name. Claimed he was a Navy pilot. He was a Navy a reservist, but he was never a pilot. Yep. All these claims, claim. How does the CIA able to check? There was a girl in the story that says, I was taking $75 from my dad and my mom that were helping me out. The CIA comes and tells me, where's the $75 coming from? It says, eventually I had to report the fact that it's coming from my mommy and my dad's bank account. They said, prove it. The girl had to show. So how is it that for $75 she got away, but the other guy, $40 million sitting? And he says, I did it because I needed it for negotiation. And some things that I'm going with, right? And what's his name, Rod? David Roth?
David
or
Rush.
Like that?
Rush.
David Rush. So Ben Swan even covering it as well.
300 gold bars, roughly $40 million worth. Another $2 million in cash and dozens of luxury watches, all inside the home of a man who held top secret clearance inside the CIA. Tonight, the FBI have arrested that man, and the story surrounding him is so insane, it sounds like something out of a movie. The FBI has arrested a former senior CIA official after raiding his Virginia home. Again, what they found inside, staggering. Let's lay it out again. 300 gold bars, roughly $40 million worth, another $2 million in cash, and dozens of luxury watches. The man there, you see him, his name is David Rush. And according to federal investigators, Rush spent years requesting massive amounts of gold and foreign currency from the government for what he called work-related expenses. That's the explanation. Work-related expenses. Must be nice. Apparently, nobody asked too many questions, at least until now. The story gets even more bizarre, though. The government isn't just accusing this man of hiding gold. They say he spent nearly 20 years lying about who he was. Fake degrees, fake academic credentials, and a Navy career that never happened. And somehow, this man still climbed his way into the highest levels of the CIA with top secret access. So again, you're telling us the most powerful intelligence agency on Earth, the same agency that claims it needs mass surveillance to keep you safe, couldn't figure out that one of its own senior officials had a completely fake and fabricated background? Really? That's not just embarrassing. It tells you a lot about who has power inside the CIA. We should be clear here. The FBI says the current charges, they are mostly connected to fraud, to false timesheets, and to stolen government money. Also gold bars, but that almost makes the story even stranger, because if this man really did have access to tens of millions of dollars in gold bars through operations that he was managing, what exactly were those operations? And how does someone walk out of government storage with what is basically a Fort Knox starter kit without anyone noticing? Maybe they did notice. And there is a bigger story here as well. It's a bigger story than just someone who was able to steal $40 million in gold bars. We keep saying the number because it's nuts. The fact that no one thought it was strange that he was using $40 million in gold bars for clandestine operations, that tells you a lot about the CIA. The truth, these organizations operate like this all the time. And 40 million in gold bars, frankly, it's a drop in the bucket. This is how these operations and organizations work, in the shadows, operating on the edge of the law, and doing so with almost no oversight, not from Congress, certainly not from the American people, and not even from inside their own agency.
There's Ben Swan breaking it down. He has been arrested. Here's CNN covering it too.
New York Times is reporting on what is just a stunning arrest of a CIA official after investigators found hundreds of gold bars worth more than $40 million stashed in his Virginia home. The CIA and FBI say the arrest occurred last week after the agency alerted the FBI about potential violations of the law. And according to court documents, the official, who is identified as David Rush, asked for and received a significant quantity of foreign currency and tens of millions of dollars in gold bars for work-related expenses in recent months. When agents searched Rush's home, they found approximately 303 gold bars, each of which weighed a kilogram, approximately 2 pounds.
So CNN covering it, it's all over. See, this is the moment where the story becomes bigger than David Rush. If the allegations are true, then a senior official inside one of the most secretive agencies in government allegedly accumulated movie villain wealth, while the system either missed it, ignored it, or failed to ask basic questions. That's why this scandal lands so hard right now, because Americans are already demanding answers on surveillance abuses, declassification fights, and the long record of intelligence community arrogance. Now comes the image that nobody can shake. 303 gold bars in a CIA official's home. See, that image tells the public something they already suspected, that elite institutions have operated for too long, as if the rules were for everybody else. The core question now is very simple. Who investigates the investigators? And can the cleanup finally begin? See, at the end of the day, this is why the America First movement keeps on winning the argument. Conservatives were mocked for warning that unaccountable agencies, insulated from scrutiny, would eventually expose themselves. Well, here we are. A former CIA insider behind bars, millions in cash, dozens of Rolexes, and enough gold to make the entire agency look ridiculous. See, President Trump was right to challenge the permanent bureaucracy, and stories like this show exactly why the old guard hates sunlight. The people running these institutions demanded trust while behaving like trust was optional. Not anymore. Americans want answers, prosecutions, audits, and real reform, not another shrug from the same class that always protects its own. So here's my question for you. Do you believe the CIA can honestly investigate itself after this? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments. Share this report everywhere. And if you're sick of the corruption, subscribe and stay with the Next News Network for the stories the corporate media never wants pushed to the front page. But do this. See those two words? See that number? The words raw feed. The number 844-840-4963. That's how you bypass the algorithm and get the news the corporate media never wants you to see. When the algorithm fails you, when the notifications never arrive, I will not fail you. And celebrate America 250 with us. Check out the merch shelf below this video and celebrate American pride together.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.